John 7:21. Respondit Iesus et dixit eis, unum opus feci, et omnes miramini. Jesus answered and said to them, I performed or did one work, and you all are amazed. In this short verse, there's a couple things we ought to focus on that are mainly useful for reminding us of some things having to do with morphology. First of all, we want to ask ourselves, what is feci? Perhaps you remember that it comes from the verb facio, I do or make or perform, but perhaps you don't remember the principal parts. Now, there's two ways often that these principal parts are listed, and students are encouraged to memorize them. One uses four principal parts: facio, facere, feci, there's our form, and factum. But in some books, particularly I'm thinking of Hans Urber's Lingua Latina per se illustrata, you might see this instead: facere, fecisse, factum, which is a slightly more compact way of conveying mostly the same information. But that's worth reviewing because this is a very common verb in Latin. And of course, this is the first person, singular, perfect, active, indicative. I did, made, fashioned, produced, whatever. In this case, the object is opus, a neuter noun of the third declension, modified by unum. I did one work. I performed one work, Jesus says. By the way, this is all, of course, a direct quotation. I performed one work, and what was the reaction? Omnes miramini. You all are amazed, or you wonder, or you are astonished. And that affords us a useful opportunity to review the forms of this deponent verb. Yes, that's right. Deponent, miror, sensus activus sed forma passiva. That's what deponens means when it comes to the Latin language. So miror, miraris, you singular are amazed or wonder. Miratur, he, she, it is amazed. Miramur, and then the form that we are seeing here, miramini, and then finally, mirantur. The present infinitive of this verb is mirari, to wonder, to be amazed. And it's worth doing this whenever you come across a deponent verb and your mind takes a second to adjust, as often it will if you're relatively new in your Latin studies and you haven't quite gotten to the point where the most common deponent verbs just sort of slide effortlessly into place in your mind in the right spot. It takes some practice to get there, of course. Don't be discouraged if you're still waiting for that to become second nature. It will if you keep going. But one thing that you can do is each time you see a deponent verb, write out the forms in whatever tense it is that you're looking at, just to remind yourself to look at those forms and think active meaning, active meaning, active meaning. These are not really to be taken as true passives. It's one way just to get that distinction down in your mind.